Throughout our books, we've mentioned that our Northern Pagan societies, our Northern Pagan clans, were matriarchal. The other day, I heard someone say that today's feminism is the matriarchy, and that is not true. That is not true at all. Today's feminism does not equate to what was matriarchal about our ancient Northern Pagan societies. Our people did not engage in what modern feminism engages in. So I'm going to address a subject now that I've gotten that out of the way. And this subject is abortion. I want to show abortion as it's discussed with the texts of Abraham as compared to Northern Pagan abortion. So I've taken some notes here, and I'm going to go through in the text of Abraham first. The first one we come to, and this selection that I'm using is a small selection of the different many that are written within those texts. But the first one we come to is God is love. We hear that said all the time, that God, the God of the Bible, or the Quran, or other writings, apologists or what have you, God is love. Well, was it then that love that set Adam and Eve up for failure? Remember, Eve having the mindset of an infant, not knowing right from wrong, good from evil, had no idea what ramifications were. She had no mindset, she had the equivalent mindset of a newborn baby. But that love punished humanity for eternity. That love right there. How about the love of the flood? The love of Noah's ark flood, where the God of the Bible destroyed everything? Aborted. The God of the Bible aborted the mission in the garden, even though, according to Bible commentators and Bible authors, he's supposed to be omniscient. He's supposed to know everything, past, present, and future. So he aborted the garden. He aborted humanity. Killed people by the thousands and millions. Just read the Old Testament, which all three of the Abrahamic cults go by. What about the sixth commandment? In the book of Exodus 20, verse 13, thou shalt not kill, which is the word ratzach. And that word ratzach means to assassinate, avenge, premeditated, or accidental. Premeditated. So the God of the Bible, being omniscient, all-knowing, past, present, and future, committed premeditated murder. He violated his own sixth commandment, and he aborted humanity because he didn't like their decision, because it was not convenient for him. What about Numbers 31, verses 17 through 19? That is where the God of the Bible commands to slay all women who have been with a man, all men, and all boy children, post-birth abortion. But he condones taking the young virgin girls as sex slaves. That's written right into those 3 verses. Numbers 25, verses 1 through 6 state, or they show, a wicked and adulterous generation. This is the same wording, this wicked and adulterous generation, as Matthew 16:4. Okay, verse 8 of that Numbers 25. A man of Levi took a spear and thrust the man through, and the woman through her belly, or woman with belly. It can be translated either way. And we've shown a lot of this in our Exposing Abraham, Northern Paganism, Exposing Abraham book. Now that word belly, see, that verse 8 is very specific. The man was thrust through with the spear, but the woman through her belly. The word is kova. It means cavernous, enlarged womb. The woman was pregnant. So the God of the Bible gave a command to a man of Levi to stab a pregnant woman in the belly and abort the pregnancy, because to him it was wicked or evil. It was not convenient for the God of the Bible. This is abortion of something that the God of the Bible did not like. So he slew it, but it was still in the womb. In John of the New Testament, John 19:34, they say, blood and water came out of their figure, Jesus, right? When he was stabbed in the side with a spear. He was stabbed in the side with a spear, and blood and water came out. That's amniotic fluid. So the Jesus of the New Testament is a pregnant woman. But they call him a son. So the Jesus of the Bible then is androgynous. In the Abrahamic texts called the Nag Hammadi, or the Nag Hammadi Library, and we put this in Exposing Abraham, Northern Paganism, Exposing Abraham. Sophia self-impregnated. Okay, so she's androgynous as well, without the consent of her cohort. So she self-impregnated, and then afterwards she decided that it wasn't a good idea to do that. So she attempted to abort that pregnancy, and it didn't work. She gave birth to a misshapen, lion-faced serpent creature. And that lion-faced serpent, who is misshapen, has a name called Yaldabaoth. Now, Yaldabaoth is an inferior god. And when you read Northern Paganism, Exposing Abraham, we quote the Nag Hammadi and show that Yaldabaoth is Yahweh. Yaldabaoth is Jehovah. Yaldabaoth, the misshapen, lion-faced water serpent, is the God of the Bible. Now, people may say, well, this is all Old Testament. This is all changed with the New Testament. Jesus came in and changed how things were. So then you have to address, well, then the God of the Bible is not the same. You have to recognize the evilness of that Old Testament God of the Bible. But we run into some problems because the Old Testament says that Jesus says, no, the New Testament says that Jesus says that he came not for peace, but to interject hatred and drive a sword between family members. That's love? That's a change from the Old Testament God? That's exactly what we see in the Old Testament. That sort of division, that sort of hatred and brutality, barbarism. The New Testament also says, if you've seen Jesus, you've seen the Father. So Jesus is equated to the misshapen, lion-faced water serpent who was a failed abortion. The belief system also says that the Father and Jesus are one, both androgynous, both evil. We also have whoever offends, the word there is scandalizo, one of the little ones. Now, a lot of Bible pastors or apologists try to use this verse in the Bible to say that Jesus does not support abortion. To the contrary, whoever offends or scandalizo one of the little ones that believes in Jesus, it would be better for that person that a millstone were hung around his neck and cast or drowned in the depth of the sea. Now that word scandalizo means to distrust, to disprove, to judge unfavorable, or to make indignant, to be displeased. So if you make a little one question Jesus, the androgynous pregnant female on the cross, then it would be better for a millstone to be hung around your neck and be drowned in the depths of the sea. What was done to witches? Now there's a reason the witches were cast into the sea, and it's got to do with sulfur and the white birch tree. But why a millstone? Because in paganism, Northern Paganism, the women wore these, milner. A millstone pulverizes or grinds. That's the meaning of Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. So it was also the women, the mothers, who would raise the young children in matriarchal societies of Northern Paganism. They would raise the young children until they got to an age where they would go off with the men. That's matriarchal. So the verse that they're trying to use to say, well, that means that Jesus is against abortion, it just means that the Abrahamic texts are against matriarchal societies, that now they're going to be raised by the patriarchy, where women are told to keep silent, and if you have a question, ask your husband in church, keep your head covered. That is the transition. It's got nothing to do with abortion or protecting children, because in a matriarchal society of Northern Paganism, the mothers of the clan did indeed protect those children. So those are some of the areas that show that the Bible is not against abortion or murder, death of children after birth or while still in the womb. The Bible fully supports death and murder if it is inconvenient or disliked by Yaltabaoth. Now, let's switch gears. So far, we've focused a lot on Abraham and his support of murder and abortion. But in Northern Paganism, what you don't see is a beaver approach our ancestral bear in nature, who is also called medicine man, and say to that bear that what it has in its womb is inconvenient. So, medicine man, rip it out. You don't see that. In Northern Paganism, matriarchal societies, as we've shown in exposing Abraham and other areas of our writings, to have increase of the family was a blessing from Mother Goddess. So increase was sought. Pregnancy was seen as a blessing from Mother Goddess. We see in nature a seed, masculine, goes into the earth, feminine. Two, only two, masculine and feminine. And that seed grows. As a matter of fact, we're right now in the time of Samhain, when seeds are being scattered and spread. But that seed goes into the earth, and what happens? Well, in the spring, when it starts to grow, and birth takes place, and it grows, it seeks a way to grow. It finds a way to grow. And if it cannot, then it is self-aborted. It is something that the woman's body does naturally. It chooses her body, a woman's body, earth, wild nature, animal kingdom, makes its choice to abort something naturally because it's not right. You cannot take a white birch tree and bring it into the southern climates and plant a seed in the ground and have it grow. You cannot take a palm tree up into the taiga biome, the boreal forest, and plant it and have it grow. It aborts that. It is not according to nature. So this choice is something that happens in the womb. The abortion that is not convenient is like someone going in with axes and clear cutting our holy lands, stabbing women in their pregnant wombs with spears. That is Abrahamic. We have the horned wild beasts. I'll just use white-tailed deer in the forests right now, and they're approaching the rut when the does go into estrus. And in the wild, it is the strong who survive. It is the strong who procreate. You're not going to have a alpha male buck that just allows a beta male, a young yearling buck, to go out there and breed. If a doe's in estrus, that alpha buck who wants to spread his seed is going to mate. Now that doe runs off impregnated. That buck goes and looks for another doe. That doe runs off impregnated. It is not inconvenient for her. She doesn't look to abort it. It is natural, in accordance with nature, for her to have that baby, that fawn, in spring. Deforestation is and external abortion. So, you see, when you look at the comparison between Abraham and patriarchy that Abraham brought in, and true matriarchal societies of our northern pagan ancestors, today's feminism is in line with Abraham and disjointed from northern paganism, from matriarchal societies. They have nothing to do with one another. So I hope that sheds some light on the fact that feminism has nothing to do with matriarchy and on abortion. Until next time, or tills nästa gång, good health, sir.